Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Success ain't just about hustle. It's about what's going on in your mind. Before you ever make money, before you ever build a business, before you ever walk on stage, you got to build yourself mentally. You know what I learned? You got to brainwash yourself for success. I mean that. I'm talking real brainwash. The kind that erases all the mess this world tried to dump on you. You are in control of your mental programming. Feed your mind success, not doubt. That truth right there is the foundation of everything you will ever become. Your brain is like a computer. And just like a computer, what you input is what you output. Most people go through life letting the world, their family, their failures, and their fears tell them what they can or cannot do. They accept that programming without questioning. But the moment you realize that you've got the power to rewire your mind, that's the moment you start moving from average to extraordinary. It starts with awareness. You've got to know what's being fed into your mind every single day. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? What kind of conversations are you allowing yourself to be a part of? Because every word, every sound, every image is shaping how you think. If you keep letting negativity and drama into your head, that's what you're going to produce. Negative outcomes and dramatic lives. But if you flip the script and start feeding your mind success, growth, hope, and belief, then your actions and decisions will naturally follow that course. Reprogramming your mind takes intention. You can't just hope it happens. You've got to decide every single day that you're going to take control of what enters your mental space. Start your day not with your phone or social media, but with something that speaks to the kind of person you want to become. Whether it's prayer, reading something powerful, listening to a motivational message, or even just sitting still and repeating your vision out loud. Whatever it is, it's got to feed your faith, not your fear. Most people don't realize that their entire day is shaped by the first 10 minutes of their morning. That time is sacred. That time is when your brain is most open to suggestion. And if you let doubt in during that window, it's going to ride with you all day long. But if you plant seeds of success in that moment, you start your day already winning. It's also important to protect your mind throughout the day. It's not a one and done kind of thing. This is a battle. You're going to be hit with discouragement, distractions, and people trying to pull you off your purpose. You've got to catch those thoughts when they come in. If a thought enters your mind that says, you're not good enough, don't sit with it. Don't entertain it. Replace it immediately. Say, I'm more than enough. I've been through too much to give up now. I'm equipped. I'm favored. I'm chosen. That's not arrogance. That's affirmation. That's programming. The more you do it, the stronger that mental muscle gets. And just like physical training, mental training is about consistency. You don't get strong going to the gym once. You get strong showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. The same applies to your thoughts. Another key part of mental programming is what you believe about failure. If your mind is programmed to see failure as final, you'll quit every time something doesn't go your way. But if your mind is trained to see failure as feedback, as a lesson, as a necessary part of growth, then nothing can stop you. You become dangerous. You become unshakable. Because now, even when things go wrong, your mind doesn't panic. It pivots. That's a mindset built for success. What you tell yourself in private determines what the world sees in public. So you got to be intentional with that self-talk. Talk to yourself like someone you're trying to build, not someone you're trying to break. You would never speak to your child or your best friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself. So start honoring your own mind like it matters, because it does. It is the command center of your destiny. If you want success, feed it what success needs to grow. Give it light, give it truth, give it power. Repetition builds belief. What you say to yourself daily becomes your truth. This is one of the most powerful principles that determine whether someone reaches success or stays stuck in the same cycle year after year. Your brain is listening to everything you say. It doesn't care if it's true or false, right or wrong, powerful or pitiful. It just receives the message and starts building your reality around it. So when you repeat something often enough, good or bad, it begins to root itself into your subconscious. That's why negative self-talk is so dangerous. It's not just words. It's not harmless frustration. It's you giving your brain permission to operate from limitation. If every day you tell yourself, I'm not smart enough, I'm not qualified, nothing ever works out for me, then don't be surprised when your life keeps proving you right. The mind is obedient. It looks for patterns and makes decisions based on repetition. That means your words are not just sounds, they're instruction. And the most dangerous thing a person can do is repeat the wrong instructions until they start living the wrong life. Now, on the other side of that, if you start saying the right things, even if you don't fully believe them yet, something begins to shift inside you. You may not feel like a success right now, but if every morning you wake up and say, I'm built for greatness, I'm walking in my purpose, I attract opportunity, then slowly your actions will begin to align with that identity. That's how belief is built. Not in a moment, but in repetition. Over and over again, you reinforce the truth until the doubt fades away. At first, your affirmations may sound like lies. They might even make you uncomfortable. That's because you've been conditioned to believe the opposite. But if you stay consistent and keep feeding your spirit the right words, one day you'll wake up and realize you're no longer trying to convince yourself. You believe it. And once belief is in place, everything changes. Confidence rises, boldness appears, opportunities feel possible. That's how doors begin to open, not just because of what you do, but because of who you've convinced yourself you are. This is why so many successful people talk about morning routines. It's not just some trendy self-help thing. It's repetition at work. Saying your affirmations, visualizing your goals, reading something uplifting, listening to something motivational. These aren't random habits. They're intentional repetitions that build mental strength. You are literally programming your belief system every single day with what you do in those early hours. And it doesn't stop there. Throughout the day, the repetition must continue. When things go wrong, you repeat your truth. When people doubt you, you repeat your truth. When fear creeps in, you repeat your truth. You don't let the external voices become louder than your internal voice. The louder your self-belief becomes, the less power the world's opinions will have over you. Repetition is the language of the brain. It's how you learn your name, your habits, your fears, your beliefs, your identity. You didn't decide those things overnight. You were conditioned into them by what you heard and said over and over again. But here's the powerful part. If repetition got you into this mindset, repetition can get you out. You don't have to stay stuck. You can choose a new set of truths. You can create new mental pathways. Every time you speak life over yourself, you're not just being positive. You're building neural connections that rewire your entire belief system. This is not magic, it's science. And it works whether you use it intentionally or not. So why not take control of it? Why not start repeating what you want to believe until your mind has no choice but to accept it as real? Because once belief sets in, you no longer chase success, it starts chasing you. Environment is powerful. Surround yourself with dreamers, not doubters. The people you allow into your life have a direct impact on how you think, how you feel, and how far you go. You can have all the talent, ambition, and potential in the world, but if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, jealousy, small thinking, or fear-based mindsets, you will eventually start to absorb that energy. It doesn't matter how strong your vision is, if you're living in a toxic environment, that vision will begin to fade. That's because your environment has the ability to either feed your fire or smother your flame. The people closest to you are either encouraging your dream or discouraging it. They're either watering your growth or draining your spirit. There is no neutral ground when it comes to influence. Everyone around you is playing a role in your development, whether you realize it or not. It's important to understand that not everyone who loves you is equipped to support your vision. Sometimes the people who care about you the most are the ones holding you back, not out of hate, but out of fear. They project their limitations onto you because they can't see beyond their own comfort zone. They may tell you to play it safe, not to dream too big, or not to risk too much. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing that advice is wisdom when it's really just fear in disguise. That's why you got to be intentional about who you share your dreams with. You don't owe everyone access to your process. You don't have to explain your purpose to people who have no vision. You don't need approval from those who never tried. Start seeking out people who think big, who talk about ideas, who are building something, growing something, believing in something. When you're around dreamers, your own dream starts to feel more possible. Their faith ignites your faith. Their confidence challenges your doubt. Their wins inspire you to keep going. These are the kinds of people who remind you what's possible, who hold you accountable, who celebrate your progress, and who see your potential even when you don't. And the beautiful part is, you don't need a crowd. You just need a few solid people who believe in your vision as much as you do. A strong environment isn't about numbers. It's about energy, alignment, and authenticity. One of the most powerful decisions you can make is to audit your circle. Take a real look at the 5 to 10 people you interact with the most. What do they talk about? How do they respond when you mention your goals? Do they push you to be better, or do they keep you the same? Do they celebrate your growth, or do they get uncomfortable with your elevation? These answers matter. Because if you're trying to grow and everyone around you is comfortable staying the same, you're going to feel stuck. Not because you're incapable, but because you're being held back by the weight of complacency around you. Growth demands alignment. And sometimes elevation requires separation. Even beyond people, your environment includes what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, and what you expose your mind to. You've got to create a space that breathes life into your goals. That might mean turning off the noise, limiting gossip, changing your social media feed, or spending more time in places that challenge and stretch you. Your environment should reflect where you're going, not where you've been. When you consistently surround yourself with excellence, with ambition, with creativity, it starts to rub off on you. You start to carry yourself differently. You start to believe at a higher level. You start to walk in alignment with your purpose. Visualize like your life depends on it, because it does. Your imagination is one of the most powerful tools you've been given, yet most people don't use it with intention. They spend their days thinking about what could go wrong, about all the ways they might fail, about the fear, the doubt, the struggle. What they don't realize is that the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined when it comes to emotion. If you keep visualizing failure, setbacks, and problems, you're wiring your brain to expect that reality. But if you flip that script and start feeding your imagination with pictures of your success, your dreams, and your next level, your entire mindset starts to shift. The body follows the mind. When you can see it, believe it, and feel it, your actions begin to align with that outcome. You walk differently, talk differently, make decisions differently, because your vision is already living inside you, guiding you. Every successful person understands the power of visualization. Athletes do it before every big game. CEOs do it before launching new companies. Artists do it before creating masterpieces. They don't just show up and hope for greatness. They see it before it happens. And that vision becomes their blueprint. You've got to learn to close your eyes and see yourself already where you want to be. See yourself walking across that stage. See yourself signing that deal. See yourself living in that house, driving that car, creating that legacy. It's not fantasy. It's preparation. Because when the opportunity finally shows up, you won't be surprised. You'll already feel like you belong there because you've been there 1,000 times in your mind. Visualization is not a one-time thing. It's a discipline. You've got to make time for it daily. Even 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night can rewire your thinking. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and start building that mental movie of your dream life. The more detailed you make it, the more powerful it becomes. What are you wearing? What does the room smell like? What kind of people are around you? What are you saying? What are they saying to you? Bring your senses into the vision so it becomes real to your subconscious mind. Because once the subconscious accepts something as truth, it begins to search for ways to make it happen. When you visualize with emotion, you begin to magnetize that reality into your life. That's because your feelings carry frequency, and frequency attracts. You can't just think about your goals, you have to feel them. That means feeling the joy of achievement, the pride of progress, the gratitude of elevation. Let those emotions fill your body during your visualization practice. That's how you train your nervous system to respond to success as something familiar, not foreign. And when success feels familiar, you stop self-sabotaging. You stop shrinking. You stop questioning whether you deserve it. Another part of visualization is using it as a tool during hard times. When life hits you, when things don't go as planned, when doubt tries to creep in, you return to the vision. That picture in your mind becomes your anchor. It keeps you centered. It reminds you why you're still fighting. Most people quit because they lose sight of what they're chasing. They get so caught up in what's happening around them that they forget what they were aiming for. But if you've been visualizing daily, that goal is always right in front of you. You don't lose it. You carry it with you. You protect it. You stay aligned with it. That's how vision becomes resilience. It's not just about dreaming, it's about survival. Because without vision, you drift. Without vision, you settle. Without vision, you fall back into the same cycles that keep you stuck. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. The way most people look at discipline is all wrong. They see it as restriction, as something that takes the fun out of life, as some kind of suffering or sacrifice. But discipline is not about punishment. It's about purpose. It's the training ground for your future. It's the molding of your character, the sharpening of your focus, the strengthening of your endurance. Without discipline, talent goes to waste, dreams fade, and potential dies. Discipline is what separates those who talk about success from those who actually reach it. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you don't have the structure, the consistency, and the daily decisions that lead you closer to your goals, your ambition will remain just an idea. People want the rewards, but they don't want the routine. They want the results, but they don't want the repetition. But success is not about doing something amazing once. It's about doing something necessary every day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. That's what discipline is. It's showing up regardless of how you feel. It's sticking to your plan even when life throws distractions at you. It's saying no to what's comfortable in order to say yes to what's meaningful. The world will try to sell you comfort. It'll say, take it easy. You've earned a break. You can do it tomorrow. But success doesn't respond to comfort, it responds to commitment. Discipline is waking up early to train your body when your bed is begging you to stay. It's writing when your mind is blank, it's studying when you rather scroll. It's pushing through that last rep when your muscles are on fire. It's building when no one claps for you, when there's no spotlight, no applause, and no recognition. That's when you know discipline is working, when you keep going without the validation. Because you're not doing it for attention, you're doing it for transformation. You're doing it for who you're becoming in the process. The truth is, most people don't lack motivation, they lack discipline. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. It can be influenced by mood, by weather, by what someone said to you that day. But discipline is a decision. It doesn't need to feel good. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It doesn't ask for permission. It just moves. It acts. It executes. You don't need to be motivated every day, but you do need to be disciplined. That's how you build momentum. And once momentum kicks in, everything becomes easier. The hard part is getting started and staying consistent through the initial discomfort. But once discipline becomes a habit, it turns into freedom. The very thing that seemed hard becomes automatic. The routine that once felt like a burden becomes your foundation. Discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build. It starts small, one choice at a time, one sacrifice at a time, one delayed gratification at a time. Every time you choose discipline, you send a message to your brain that you're in control, that your vision matters more than your feelings, that your future matters more than your distractions. And with each choice, you're preparing yourself for the opportunities that are coming, because life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you're ready for. Discipline is how you get ready. It's how you grow into the version of yourself that can handle the weight of your dream. Everybody wants the blessing, but few want to prepare for it. Few want to build the habits, the mindset, the structure to sustain it. But discipline ensures that when the moment comes, you're not only willing, you're able. You're steady. You're strong. You're equipped. You're not just hoping for success, you're prepared for it. Success is not an accident. It's a result of intentional thinking. It doesn't just fall into your lap one day while you're waiting for things to line up or luck to strike. Success is built on purpose, on clarity, and on conscious thought. Every breakthrough, every victory, every achievement begins first in the mind. You don't stumble into greatness. You think your way into it. The world has convinced too many people that success is about luck, about being in the right place at the right time, about having the right connections. And while timing and opportunity matter, what really drives success is how you train your mind to focus, to create, to solve, and to persist. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't always skill or resources. It's how they think when it gets hard, how they think when they feel stuck, and how they think when everyone else gives up. Intentional thinking means you are deliberate about where your mental energy goes. It means you aren't just reacting to life, you're directing it. Most people live on autopilot, letting circumstances dictate their thoughts and letting problems consume their mental space. But successful people think differently. They pause, they reflect, they strategize. They don't allow fear to have the final word. They don't let insecurity narrate their next move. Instead, they take control of their thoughts, question their doubts, and replace confusion with clarity. They spend time with their minds, asking themselves powerful questions. What do I want? What's standing in my way? How can I grow from this? What needs to change in me so I can reach that next level? That kind of thinking isn't automatic. It's intentional, and it's how successful people build lives that align with their purpose. You can't change your life without changing your thinking. Everything around you, from your income to your relationships to your habits, is a reflection of the thoughts you've repeated over time. If you believe the world is against you, you'll interpret everything through that lens. If you believe you're unworthy of success, you'll self-sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. But when you start thinking thoughts of growth, of abundance, of resilience, your life begins to shift. You begin to see solutions where others see problems. You begin to recognize opportunities where others see barriers. That's not magic. That's mindset. Your thoughts set the tone for your life. That's why you have to be ruthless about what you allow into your mental space. That's why you have to filter your thoughts and question the ones that don't serve you. Intentional thinking also means visualizing the outcomes you want and mapping out the steps to get there. It means setting goals, reviewing them regularly, and holding yourself accountable for the progress. It means you stop waiting for someone to come fix things for you, and instead you take responsibility for how you think, how you respond, and how you lead yourself forward. When you start thinking intentionally, you move different. You stop being a victim of your past and start becoming a steward of your future. You become proactive instead of reactive. You start recognizing patterns in your behavior and begin making adjustments. You become more focused, more grounded, more resilient, not because life got easier, but because your thinking got stronger. Success doesn't just come from hustle. It comes from the combination of hustle and wisdom. And wisdom is born from thought, from taking time to think deeply, to ask questions, to learn, to listen, to challenge old beliefs, and to shape new ones. The most successful people aren't always the fastest or the strongest. They're the ones who think with purpose. They think with vision. They think with discipline. Their mind becomes their most powerful tool because they've trained it to work for them, not against them. They guard their focus like it's gold because they know that where their focus goes, their energy flows. They understand that success is never random. It's the predictable result of clear thoughts, consistent action, and a mind that's been shaped with intention day after day.